Hope you guys just heard that. Nice guys spending way too much money on a first date. Stop doing that. Stop it. Stop it. That's pedestalizing. Stop it. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Dating Today, a conversation about modern dating issues. My name is Brock, I'm your host. Today I'm joined with Maraa, who's also my co-host. We have Meagan, say hi.
Hello.
They're gonna be joining on the topic today, which is nice guys versus good guys.
Add it up.
So one of the issues that's brought to me most of the time by guys that are wanting to make a really good impression with the ladies, but seem to be having a little bit of an issue, they're striking out. It's this balance, it seems to be, of being a good guy, being an asshole, being somebody who's a little bit more rugged, but they can't quite find that balance. And they're like, I'm tired of having myself found in the friend zone. Like, how do I avoid all this? And I brought these two ladies on because they've definitely friend zoned a guy or two in during their dating time, and they have some really good insight on what gets you there, but also the thing that I think is very, very interesting is most of the guys don't understand that you need to be a good guy, not a nice guy. And there's actually a really, really big difference. A nice guy is somebody who's going to, he's going to try to find ways of getting your approval. He's going to bend over backwards to not necessarily just accommodate what you need, but he's going to sacrifice like his purpose, the things that make him important to, like, say he asks you guys to go on a date. Say he asks you on a date and you're like, I'm really not, able to do Saturday or Friday, and he just keeps trying to make every accommodation possible, and even if that means he has to cancel dinner with his mom. These are nice guys. These are guys that don't hold themselves accountable, guys that want just to be liked. And I think you all can really sense that. In fact, one of the most powerful hot takes that we've had has actually been from Maraa. And she said that ladies can suss it out. If you're trying to be a nice guy, if you're not being genuine, if you're not being confident, you are going to be found out. A good guy, on the other hand, is somebody who is extremely confident, who knows what he brings to the table, who's about his purpose, but is also able to accommodate other people while maintaining who he is, not having to sacrifice his plans and his trajectory. Somebody who is aware of situations around him, who is looking to have somebody complement his life, not somebody who's trying to sacrifice to be part of somebody else's. And those are the fine little things that separate a nice guy and a good guy. Yep. That's what I really talk to most of my guy clients who are struggling with that balance. Maraa and Meagan, when you start dating a guy, say let's go from the very beginning. He just slid into your DMs. Or maybe he's been liking your stuff. What's too much? Like, where's that line of like, okay, this is a nice guy, this is a guy, like, he's making this a little too easy. Like, what are the things that are getting guys kind of like in that friend zone area? Like, what is it?
Okay, well, I think for me, as far as like, if it's coming to starting in the DMs or whatever, I think it comes across as not liking any of your stuff.
Okay. For
me, at least. Those are things that I've noticed, is that they don't really like your stuff, or they don't create like a rapport with you, because a confident person is somebody who's going to come in, they're going to create a rapport. And a rapport doesn't always have to be a verbal or physical rapport. Okay. In a sense. It's like a lot of times you have a lot of nonverbal cues, which we've talked about.
For sure.
And those could be things such as, you post a selfie pic and he likes it. But not every single selfie pic. He just likes one of them. And it's like, oh, you're like, oh, he is interested. Sure. And then you post, it makes you want to post another pic. You want to see, like, is this person just liking my stuff to be liking it? Or do they really like it? Sure. And you post something else and, like, maybe they don't like it, and you're like, oh, well, they really like that picture. So then I go back and I analyze everything about that picture. I'm like, what could he have liked?
We live right next to the fire department, so Mara was getting real
Sorry.
hot just now. She was
Take 2.
Go in. All right. So they're liking some of your things. When they like some of it,
Yeah, when
it gets more of your attention. But what if like they like every single thing that you post, every comment that like they're commenting, they're doing all the stuff. Like that's
Depends.
like it's depends on what.
It depends on the amount that they're commenting. And,
Everything.
And like
they're commenting on everything.
they're coming, but like not just commenting on everything. Like maybe they're like, actually, you know what? Let me take that back. Let me walk that one back. If you're commenting on everything, I'm done with you. I'm done. I'm sorry. Like, don't be commenting on everything, because personally, like, I know a few people, and like, I don't care if you're family or your friends. Like, my friends don't even comment on every single thing I post.
Commenting and liking and all this stuff. That's a way to get you like that'll get you blocked.
I think a like is okay. Like,
sure.
I think like you have to be careful. Like, if you're hearting every single thing, now Instagram's different. You have to like
you have to heart
it.
Instagram.
So, like, that doesn't care. Instagram, it's a like. Basically, a heart is a like on Instagram.
Yes.
Like Facebook, it's like you have all these emojis. It's like if you're hearting every single one of hers, it's like, get out of here. Like, give me a little more.
Sure.
You know, like, give me something to be like, why did he heart this one and not that one? There's no mysteriousness there.
Yeah.
It's like
he's liking everything.
He's just like, I like it all. And I'm like, okay, it's too much.
And it's also, that's easy attention.
It's easy attention. I know I'm going to get it.
That cheapens it. That makes it not
does.
attractive, not something that you really want. You're like, dang, if he's able to just give all this and I'm not even having to try, like maybe he's doing this also for like a bunch of other people and it's not very important. Like, why does he want me to like this also, like him back so badly? That's a huge red flag.
It's too much.
So there's a balance for sure. What about you? Yeah, what's that balance? Like, what guys slides into your DM? I know, real quick, she's in a relationship. So Nathan, we're
stay out of her DMs.
Stay out of that.
Not you, Nathan, but everyone else.
So when guys were sliding into your DMs and you were entertaining it
before Nathan.
Before Nathan. What were the things like? Okay, this attention's too easy. Like, what are the things you're like? No, I'm not replying to this dude.
I mean, honestly, the balance. Like, if you're going to be liking all of my stuff, I'm going to be like, okay, well, you're trying too hard. Like, reel it back some. I like a mystery, like you said.
Yeah.
And you like to want to. You also want to have to try to get the attention. If you're posting just anything, like here's a picture of my dog, here's a picture of me on it's like dang, man, like what I
like
find.
Your dog though.
I know my dog's great. He's probably trying to get in here right now.
Yeah.
What I find is sometimes a guy who wants to get your attention, he'll like 4 or 5 things, and that'll be it.
Done.
That is the silent.
That's
contract.
How you send a message without sending a message.
Yes.
You want to let them know you're interested?
You don't have to keep liking a bunch of stuff. Go like 4 or 5 things, boom.
Go through. You could go back years deep.
Okay.
Like,
how many?
2016.
Like. She opens her phone, she's got like 5 likes, 10 likes.
Yep. Across 4 years.
Across the years. And you're like...
I've loved your evolution, so...
Exactly. What a glow up. You're doing great, hon. That's like,
hilarious.
You're like, I'm interested. Literally what that says is, I'm interested.
Sure.
I might want to know more.
Sure.
And then I'm just going to start gauging your activity from that. And when you like, it's a bit of ghosting. You like and then you leave. And you leave me wondering. You're like, what's happening? What the hell just happened here? And then what do? What is the immediate response to that? You go, I gotta go to their profile. I gotta look at their stuff. You don't like it because you don't know you looked.
Right.
But you look a few years back as well, and you might go, like.
That's it.
Done.
That's it.
That's all.
She's shooting her shot so you can shoot your shot.
And that's all I need to know. And the shot was shot.
Yep.
And like all you need to know now at this point is like you're waiting. He's waiting for the next opportunity to say something. That could be a new picture. That could be a conversation you post, whether it be on a platform like you post and ask questions. He may directly come to your response and say something to you. Okay. It could be a plethora of things in which he responds to you, but that's his opening. You gave him that. Sure.
So nice guys and good guys can both can kind of both do that. Nice guys will flood you with the likes. They'll give you way too much. They really will.
For sure. Yeah.
Sometimes the nice guys don't fail there. they fail later.
Yep.
So say he slid in the DMs, conversations like, it's fine, it's short. Hey, you want to go grab a drink? You want to kind of take you to dinner? What after that first interaction can set you off like, you're not causing this, not like, oh, I don't want to see you ever again, but like, you're nice.
You're friend-zoning
nice,
yourself.
You're nice, but I'm not really feeling, and this was a message I actually got today. Like, this person's really nice, but I'm like,
there's the but.
So what is it? What is this nice thing that separates a good guy from a nice guy at that date when you're making that decision to not go on another one? Like, what is it?
Okay, first of all,
Mara's just on it. She's like, first of all.
I have so many thoughts on this.
I love it.
I've been with a nice guy. I've friend zoned the nice guy, and I've also regretted many years later that I friend zoned him at all, because I'm like, now I look at this guy and I'm like, I could see myself in a relationship with him. I have like, we still are connected, and like there's still an attraction there, but like I fucked it up. At the end of the day, I know I fucked it up, and it's because I friend zoned him.
But he didn't market himself, portray himself in a way that was attractive to you.
He
So
didn't.
how did he do that? Because this is something a lot of guys do. They're like, they think they're a catch, and maybe they are, but they're not causing that spark. They're maybe the trying to be too accommodating. The trying to be super nice. Like, you're just like, it's almost ick. It's almost like that. So how do you?
It's not even almost. It is.
It is.
And I will say the difference, because most people I think are going to listen to this and say, and hear all this information, and they're still going to walk away and be like, well, what is the difference? I still don't know for sure what the difference is. And I'm going to tell you right now, the difference between a good guy and a nice guy, boundaries.
Nailed it.
Boundaries.
Beat me to it. Go ahead.
Because at the end of the day, a nice guy doesn't have boundaries. He's liking all your stuff. He's staying in your face. He's not giving you a proximity of space.
Yep.
He's like, look at me. It comes across desperate.
He's not
like,
allowing
look
for
at
mystery
me.
to be created,
Exactly.
for feelings to be developed.
You're not
like
giving
he's
me
like
a chance
all
to miss
yes.
you. You're not giving me a chance to want to be with you. Like, if I see another guy that I like, or could even potentially like, maybe he's hanging out with his friends. I'm like, well, I want him to spend time with me. How do I get him to spend time with me? If I see him, posting a picture with another girl he's on a date with, or, or just in general, maybe it's just a friend group and there's girls involved. I'm like, well, how do I get in that? I want to know more. I want to be that.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's the thing. Women love a little bit of the chase. At the end of the day, it comes down to a little bit of chase.
We both
and
want
mystery.
to chase. The way we chase, though, is completely different. The way
It's
men
true.
and women chase is completely
But we
different.
want it,
Yes.
and the nice guy doesn't give us the chase. They just, basically, they're like, here's a platter. It has
Of
the
my
most
attention
amazing
and my focus.
charcuterie of attention and text and adoration and all that stuff. And we're like, I'll take all of it, and I'm going to give you nothing back. Because I don't have to, because you're giving it to me.
Yep.
And
that's why they get the nice guy.
Shafted.
Well, the nice guy, he gets shafted, he gets friend zoned, and then he's like, I've just invested, I offered so much. Why wouldn't somebody want what I have to offer? It's like, you can't pay everything up front, man. You've got to do it slowly.
incrementally.
Yes.
And
that balance is
strategically.
yes.
Absolutely. What do you think? What have you experienced in the past? Because I know even before Nathan, and you had like a very short period of time when you were single before you met Nathan, and prior to that you dated someone for a pretty long time. So before that, and I don't know that relationship before that, but or what that time period was before that, but I can imagine that you have had to deal with friend zoning people because of it.
Lots of guys.
Lots of guys. Dang. She's like, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Lots of guys.
But honestly,
Heartbreakers over here.
honestly, like when you're too nice and you just go 10 extra miles, it's a lot. And I know a lot of people take advantage of that. Me personally, I like the confidence and the balance. And let's be real, dating is kind of a game in the beginning. Like, the chase, the don't text back right away, wait an hour, or, not all at once. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, feel that.
Yeah.
So giving too much attention too fast is definitely going to give the ick. It's that need to give the attention is typically somebody who's needing it back.
Yes.
They need that reciprocated, and somebody who needs to have that reciprocated often doesn't have confidence themselves. And a lot of nice guys don't realize that. It's like when you give all that, and you know, like that's what it smells like. It's like, dang, you need this validation back also. You must be lacking.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for guys to understand this.
I also feel like too, those types of men, and women too, but this particular gauged towards men, they're probably find themselves being considered as people pleasers.
Yeah.
And you know,
that's not a good guy. A people pleaser is not a good guy.
It's not a good person in general, because it does come back to boundaries. But at the same time, their complaint to you and probably to other people is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is, I do all of these things and I get treated like shit.
And I get friend zoned.
I get friend zoned. They walk all over me. They take from me.
They don't respect me.
They don't respect me. Yeah. They'll go on these dates with me, and it feels like I'm just taking them to dinner and giving them free food. All of this type of stuff.
And we talk about that like in all sorts of forums and conversations on Facebook, and we've had that conversation
but that's
on this podcast.
That's a resentment conversation.
100%, yep.
Not, and I want to say that's separate to
Absolutely.
who should pay for the meal. This is a conversation that's like where the man's like always offering to pay for everything, and the woman takes him up on it, and then he feels used and neglected to a degree. And my question to that is, you know, you got to do some inward reflection, because who in your life, and I feel like you could say this, is, you know, someone who is a people pleaser, who in your life has taught you that that their time is more important than yours? And that's where you start learning to create boundaries. Because when you take a look at that and say, oh yeah, maybe like that was a parent.
Sure.
Or maybe that was a sibling, or maybe that was a coach, or somebody in my life that was heavily influenced on you, that made you feel like their time was more important than your time. And so therefore you trained yourself to please that person, to gain access of love and caring and empathy towards them. And that was the only way you got that. So, you know, in a situation like this, you carry that out into your adult life and into your dating life. And so you're giving you know, this kind of same rite of passage to people who don't deserve that. And you're people pleasing. And this could even go across in your job life, you know, your work life. And, you know, you don't really you keep thinking, why is, you know, someone getting this job over me? I've been here, you know, I've brought the boss coffee every single day, and I have my reports turned on time, and I do X and Y, Z, and I do all this extra credit work, and, you know, and then so-and-so got the job before I did. I didn't even get offered it or whatever. And it's like, well, while you took the time to people please and to make sure these people were getting petted, that person took the opportunity to step across to you and take what they wanted. And like they did that in a confident way. They didn't kiss ass to do it.
Right.
And like if you look at that in your dating life, and like it may not necessarily come across as kissing ass, but like it is. In a sense, it is.
Yeah. And there's also this take it or leave it attitude that not just women, but guys find it attractive as well. When you have options and you carry yourself as though you do have these options, it's a very attractive characteristic to have. So if a date doesn't go well, if somebody doesn't reply to you, like that needy, like, oh, I text them and they haven't replied in 5 hours, like somebody who is on their purpose does not care. Hold on. Motorcycle.
Yep.
We live right on Main Street here, so a little bit of sound. The person who's on their purpose, the person who can take it or leave it, that's a very attractive person. Somebody whose attention is hard to lock down. That's a very attractive person. The people that have attention that's hard to lock down are people who have things that are going on in their life that's important to them. And if you're giving your attention to somebody, it reeks of the fact that you have nothing else going on in your life.
Yeah, get busy.
And for the nice guys out there that are doing all the attention giving, women don't think you are going to be a good partner for that very reason, because they also know they can't be the center of your world, because your world would come crashing down. They have to be a complement to it. Your purpose has to be your focus. and then they're with it. They can't be pedestalized.
Right.
And women know this. They can't. They may say, hey, I want to be the center sometimes, but it can't always be that way, and it's not real, it's not rational, it's not a healthy dynamic to put anybody. And again, when you're giving all the attention, that is what pedestalizing is. It's putting somebody above yourself, and that is an unattractive prospect, and no respectable woman wants to be like that. They want to be your only one at some point, but not off the rip.
Right.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
And not so, and I want to just dial that a little bit back too, is like, it's not so far pedestalized. Like you said, women do want to be made to feel special, and like they're the only one.
But
and
by
like,
somebody who is special.
That they're up here, and that you hold them to a standard and on a pedestal in that degree, but not so much so that we also know we can dance around and walk around on that pedestal and walk and use you as a stepping stone to get down from it too.
Sure.
And that's kind of the issue that I think men are running into, is that they're like, well, I put her up here and she stepped on me to get down to.
And what I mean by pedestal is like placing them above you.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'm going to say this one more time, nobody, guys, needs to be above you. Nobody. And the first time that you do that, everything else in your life will start to slip.
Yeah.
It can't be that way. It simply cannot. I'm married. Diana is not on a pedestal above me. She's not. She's right with me. That's how that has to be. And she got right with me when we got married. Before then, it was down here. And that's where you guys need to be approaching people who you've not given exclusivity to. Like, the further they invest, the more they get to be into the center. But they never get up here. Ever. Nobody should ever get up here. And that's what nice guys do. And it's disgusting. Like, that's the best
they're
word.
disappointed. They're heavily disappointed. They're like,
well, Disney's also at fault for this. Like, oh, it's the princess. The guy's gonna slay the dragon. He's gonna find the girl who left the slipper, and everything centers around them getting together. And there's that Hollywood dynamic that's been fed to young guys
for sure. And I'll say the princess dynamic is like, it's old, it's dated, it's out of here. Like, like, I love a guy that can wine and dine and like treat me good. Sure. I don't need to be treated like a princess, and that I need to solely rely on you. Like, that just isn't modern dating today. Sure. That's not how it is. So we can provide for ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly what you just said. When you do want a guy that's able to, you like the wine and dine. Like, that's fantastic. Yeah. And I agree. And I've even posted stuff about, like, hey, that's actually almost a shit test. We want to see if you have manners. Like, hey, I totally get it. I totally get it. Let's say after that very first date, it's the next day. Guy messages you in the morning. Hey, good morning. Hope you have a great day. Morning, sunshine.
Morning, star.
No.
She almost threw up just then.
Nope.
You missed
that. And that's exactly the reaction. I hope every guy, good guy, nice guy, bad guy, about to be a guy, whatever, hope they just saw that reaction. Stop doing that. Stop. After the first date, you do not need to send a message in the morning about
good morning,
all that good stuff. The good morning texts come later.
Star bright. Good morning,
right.
starshine.
Morning, starshine. There's that.
That's all I think about. Is that meme? I can't.
Oh gosh, maybe this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna find that and we're gonna impose it into this.
We have to.
We have to.
Right,
so you guys
here
know.
Between us.
Yep. So here's that video, Blake.
Good morning, starshine. The Earth says hello.
Morning, starshine.
Morning, starshine. It is hilarious. Oh god.
It.
But yeah, like that like intense attention, caring about like their next morning and hoping they have a great day and a great week. Like the very next day after you've just like had a night, like you've not even been apart for 12 hours. Like
I'm just gonna interject here.
Go ahead.
I don't mind within the day, like if we say we went on a date and the next morning you want to text and say, good morning, hope you have a good day, had a fun time, let me know what your schedule is the rest of this week. If you have time, I'd love to go out. Or something like that. Or
sure.
What's your schedule like the rest of the week? Like if
You want that first thing in the morning? Like you just saw them like...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? Because Megan don't.
Maybe wait till lunchtime.
I'm still digesting.
After I woke up and had my coffee, then
I don't mind to get it. I mean, obviously, don't send it to me like 6 a.m. No one wants that. But like, I don't mind to like, and I say this because I go into work late, so
Sure.
Like, I don't mind to be like getting up and like milling around.
Well,
my
hold on.
brain, And I get that.
So
text.
I think there's a slight disconnect. Why do you want that message first thing? Are you just wanting it so you feel good? Like, okay, I have, it went well, like blah, 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 because, and I say, hold on, this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
Do you like that message because it makes you have like the power of like knowing where he is mentally? Because if he waited, that mystery time builds up and you actually create more of a connection during that absence of communication. So there's the conscious liking and then there's the subconscious liking.
The absence of communication was while I was sleeping. So he could have texted it at midnight, but he didn't. He
Text me in my dreams. He could have texted me in my dreams.
Okay. Here's the difference though. It's one thing if you went out, you had a date, whatever, and you text the next day and you're like, hey, hope you have a good day. It was great to see you last night. Like, had a great time, whatever. Just a small recap. Like, I'd love to see you later this week. Done. You don't have to be like, good morning. Hope you have a great day.
What if it's a nighttime text then?
A good night text?
Yeah.
I don't mind either or. It could be either or both, whatever. What I don't want is the stagnation of that, which is every single morning, good morning, and that's it.
Oh,
good morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, beautiful.
What you doing? WYD.
Good morning, beautiful.
Hope you have a great day.
Good morning. Hope you
How's
have
your
a
day
great
going?
day. Or good night. Good night. Hope you sleep well. Good morning. How'd you sleep?
So there's the balance of too much.
There's the balance again comes back to being too much. Because the confident guy will still send you a good morning text. And I don't want to discourage a man from sending that because I think there are some women, you may not like it, but I do love that.
So the confident guy, he'll send the text, but with intent. And it's not just to tell you good morning, but maybe to segue into a future date.
Or it could just be
I had a good time last night. Would really like to do something this week with you.
And it could just be as simple as, good morning, hope you have a great day. Or, hey, I hope you have a good day today. Like, text me when you get free. Or text me when you have a moment. Or like whatever. Like, let me know, like, later on. Like, touch base with me later. Like, something like that. It could just be
Megan had a different reaction. She was like,
I think the reaction
nope.
is the good morning every single day type text. When you get the repetitious every single, and you could say I'm not right, but like, when you get the icky, like, there's one thing when you're talking to a guy and you go on a date with him and you're like feeling it, and then like there's time between maybe the next date, and it's every single morning is good morning.
No, Megan's like, no, don't message me. She's like, don't message me for 72 hours.
I love that. I'm like, ugh.
What do you want?
I'm like, don't do that.
That's like the mystery thing. Like, give me a little time to be like curious about how.
Okay.
So lunchtime is curious for you.
No, she's a few days. She's a few days.
Maybe just like, okay, I'm assuming it's a Friday and I like don't message me at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So we already said she's dating. She's with a guy, exclusive. Nathan, fantastic guy, by the way. If you're watching, love you. You're fantastic. How did he get past? Like, how did he not fall into the nice guy? How did he stay into the good guy?
If he said good morning to you every single day,
what did he do? What did he do? We're putting Nathan on the spot too.
Nathan, we're coming for you.
He didn't say good morning every single day. I think we played a little bit of a
cat and mouse.
I chased a little bit even. I know. He chased.
Did you send a good morning text?
Maybe. Maybe I did. I don't really remember.
So, you went on whatever your first date was. How long until the second one?
Probably about a week.
Okay.
I want to say.
But and then
like the next weekend.
And then what was the communication like during that week
in
between those two dates? Like, was he every morning, good mornings, good nights, all this?
It was pretty brief, like thinking about you today, looking forward to this weekend. Just
and that's so important. Looking forward to this weekend is intentional. It's reaffirming that, hey, plans are still a go. That is a huge complaint that I hear from so many women is that like they don't even know if the date's still on, haven't heard anything from the guy like in a couple of days, which is totally fine. Like you don't need to be messaging every single day.
Yeah.
But when you get like 42 hours, 48 hours, like say looking forward to Friday night or whatever, just reconfirming the plans.
Yeah.
But he wasn't sending you good morning messages, or you were reciprocating back?
Of course. It was.
Of course.
It was. I don't know. I feel like it was a very
easy.
good balance.
Okay.
It wasn't overdoing it. And
Like you didn't feel stressed or suffocated by it.
no, not at
Which
all.
is what you get
That's
by
a good sign
nice
that you're
guys.
not stressed. And
Yeah.
Is that they're like,
Yeah.
that I personally feel super suffocated by that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need my space. Like I
I
don't.
don't need to talk all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst thing that a nice guy could ever do is want to talk all day. Like you're busy,
Via
I'm
text.
busy, you're busy. Like we're all busy. Everybody knows we're busy, and like in between our busies, we're on our social media,
Sure.
we're texting our friends, we're catching up with what we got to catch up with, and your nice guys over here being like, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?"
For me?
Every
Yeah.
like
Send me a
few
pic.
hours or like whatever.
No.
And it's
No.
it's those things that like
No.
like I dated a guy who did do that, and he texted me all day long, and it was the same thing. It was the same conversation every hour or so. Hey, what are you doing? I'm at work. The same thing I've been doing. You know my schedule at this point. You know what I'm doing. I'm at work. Stop texting me all the time, asking me what I'm doing. Like I'm bored of it. So now, like, what am I supposed to do with you? Like, if I tell you what I'm doing or consistently filling you in on what I'm doing every few hours, why do I need to go on a date with you?
Yeah.
Right.
Like we've done it.
Very true.
Like there's
Very
no
true.
emotion to be had. There's no like when you see each other like an excitement to see each other. There's no like, hey, like how did your week go? And you get to like explain the things that
Yeah.
happened. Maybe it was a chaotic week, or maybe it was like a wonderful week and you got a promotion. You want to share that. It's like, well, if someone's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like Bueller.
Right.
Bueller.
There's
You know, it's
nothing-
like
But it's also like you don't have a life, you don't have a purpose, you have nothing else, you have no other options. I am it. I am
annoyed.
it. And not only is that like annoying, but that's like, whoa, I can't even be all that for you. Not only can I not, I don't want to.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. That's
Get
not
some
a,
friends.
That is yeah.
Autonomy.
Get some
Autonomy.
friends.
Yes.
Have options.
Have options.
Like that. And
I'm tired. You're stressing me out. Like
well, and the balance is super, super important. So I was listening to another podcast. I think somebody's here. I was listening to
your
another.
wife.
No, it's for the next episode. I think it might be James. This other podcast I was listening to, they were actually talking about male archetypes, and even back in the 60s and 70s, like what women found attractive then, they still find attractive today. And
Cool.
a great example. Everybody has probably seen or know of Happy Days and Fonzie.
Oh yeah.
Right? Fonzie.
Yeah.
Everybody though in that show just very vanilla, just like yes,
true.
except Fonzie.
Yeah.
So what is it about Fonzie that was so attractive? And it's because he was confident in who he was.
Just a
He
cool
was
guy.
he was cool, but he was confident. He was a bit of a rebel. He was about his purpose. He was doing his own thing. I don't even know if he was in like it was a high school show like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Was he even going to school?
I
don't even know. Like nobody
I don't
like there was
know.
mystery about him. He had the motorcycle. But nobody ever got the sense that he was a nice guy or a bad guy. He was a cool guy, a good guy.
Yeah, he wasn't boring.
Exactly. He wasn't boring. There was mystery. There was edge. Like these are things.
Love an edgy guy.
So that's another part of the balance. And I see so many guys getting pissed off and they come to me, they're like, women just want to date assholes. I'm like, and?
They give us
And?
something to talk about.
They're interesting. They're great conversationalists. They have fun things that they're interested in. They're constantly pushing themselves. They have.
They don't give a fuck. They just don't. I'm sorry.
But that's
I'm not
what.
supposed
But
to say that, but
no, you're fine. No, but that's what it is. The take it or leave it attitude.
yeah.
That is what's so attractive.
They
And
just lay it down and say, here's some of the cards.
but they don't do it at the expense of other people. They do it at the
Yeah.
expense of opportunity. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference
They
that
walk-
most people don't understand.
But they walk a lot of fine lines too. And because I also don't want to give the message to anyone that like you got to be an asshole to get the girl, or you got to be an opportunist to get the girl. Like all these things, like there's all the things that these men are doing. They are literally walking such fine lines, because if they go the opposite direction just by one hair, it could land them in the asshole lane. Yep. It could land them in the fuckboy lane. And it's like,
well, there's asshole, there's fuckboy, there's a bad guy, nice guy, good guy. And I think the asshole and the good guy are actually one and the same.
They become. They start as one and they become the other.
I can think of, let's take Johnny Depp. I bet dude's an asshole.
Oh, for sure.
But he's attractive. He's about his purpose. He's still nice. He's kind, sorry.
Charisma.
He's kind. He's about what he's like passionate about. He still takes care of the people that are around him.
Yeah.
That personifies a good guy, but he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, he just is. Like,
Yes.
And what I mean is, like, he can take it or leave it. If you don't want to be in my life, I have other options. I have other opportunities, and that's what's attractive.
Yep.
That's what it is. A nice guy doesn't have those opportunities.
They're certain. They're certain. They move with certainty, and they're confident.
Yep.
Yeah.
That pretty much.
And that confidence comes from when you know that there are opportunities and options outside of what you're engaging in right now.
It's true.
A scarcity mindset is where nice guys live.
Almost panicky.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, damn, we're there. A panicky guy is a guy who doesn't think there are options beyond where he currently is. So that's why he floods with the attention. That's why he needs it himself. That is why he goes above and beyond when it's not deserved, and it comes off as just kind of ick.
Yeah.
But a good guy or an asshole, he knows what he has. He knows that there are always going to be opportunities as long as he's pursuing excellence in himself.
Yeah.
Like that is the personification of a good guy, a guy that's pursuing excellence.
I think also a lot of this is learned and accrued through age. So I don't know the age of the men that are coming to you and discussing these types of situations. My hopes is that they are younger than my age. You know, that
I'd say they're 25 to 40. They're
if you're 40 and still trying to figure this out, that's a big deal. That's a big issue personally.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
you got a lot there, and I don't mean to be
it's
mean to those people, but
you're fine.
A 25-year-old that makes more sense.
Yeah, they're a little bit more aimless. Like, but yes, when you get a little older, and it's still the wanting to be. It's wanting to be liked. It's wanting to have, or thinking that you have to conduct yourself that way to have a positive reputation. We live in a small town. Like, our dating pool is not very big. If you mess up a couple of relationships with people, your reputation's done. It can be done.
You're done.
Yes. Seriously, you're done.
You're done.
Like, dating here couldn't happen if a couple rumors got spread. Like,
yeah, which I don't know. That's not necessarily true. I mean, I feel like there's people that we know that rumors get spread about all the time.
Sure. They're
still here getting the girl. You know what I mean?
Because they're confident.
Because they're confident. Because that's what they want. Like,
but
they
the nice
have
guy's
intention.
afraid of that.
And the thing is, like, yeah, men out here do have to learn to have confidence, the same as women do. You know, we've talked a lot about this in other podcasts about women having confidence and taking action and being that person, but men are just the same. Like, you can't expect it to be given to you. Yeah. Like, no one's going to hand you an attractive woman on a platter when you give her everything anyways. It doesn't, it's just like, that's just not how it works. Yeah. Like, there's got to be a little grit to you, a little, like, you got to do a little work. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, the guy who is getting the girl, they do have more confidence. They're, you know, for sure, like you said, with certainty, you know, they have a little bit more drive. They're going for what they want, whether that be financial, you know, professional life, you know, whatever that is, maybe even in the dating world. Like, they just know, like, they're on a mission. Like, maybe, like, I want to date this year. Like, I'm dating with intention. And, you know, I want to go on, you know, 10 dates this year. Or 10 dates in 6 months or whatever. And maybe it's just somebody who doesn't date a lot and they're like, that's what I need to do to get myself out there. But they're doing it with intent so that they can learn from mistakes and, like, find where their natural balance is. They find who they are in themselves. And I just think people take the easy route. They sit back and
least resistance for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They sit back and they just expect things to unfurl for them because they give, and that's just not how it works. The world doesn't just open itself to you because you've given yourself to it.
And definitely not for guys. Like
Yeah.
the guys, like the only way you're going to get through the world is by increasing your value every single day, learning, creating a strong network. Like these are the things that you have to constantly do. And if you're not confident in those areas, like you're going to reek of that ineptitude with other people you're trying to, date and things like that.
What I'll also say too is like earlier I touched on like I dated the nice guy, or I went on a date with a nice guy and I was friends with him, and he has since reversed his life and has been the good guy now.
So hold up, whoa, whoop, whoop. What do you mean reversed? What do you mean reversed?
He is no longer the nice guy.
What has he done different? First of all, how long ago was it that you put him there into the friend zone?
This was in, let's see.
How long's he been in jail?
This was in 2011, 2012.
a decade ago.
Close to that.
Okay, so he got himself in the friend zone a decade ago.
I used to see him all the time. I used to like talk with him a lot. He was so nice, like just a sweet guy. And he's still sweet to this day. He's still actually such a good guy.
But what was he lacking? Like assertiveness, like the ability to escalate a situation?
To me, he lacked confidence, and I think he lacked a little bit of knowing his purpose and knowing who he was as a person.
How old was he?
I'm not sure.
Roughly.
I don't know he was in it. I know, let's see, in 2012, that would have been 10 years ago. I would have been 22. And at 22, I knew a lot then too.
Sure.
So I think he was a little bit older than me, but so maybe like a year or two. So he's probably like, at the time, 23, 24.
Well, I mean, that goes to exactly what you said. Like a 25-year-old guy
wouldn't know. He
could be a little bit, and should be probably a little bit more aimless.
Yeah,
with his confidence.
He was aimless to some degree.
So you friend zoned him?
Yeah, I friend zoned. We went on a date and we've hung out and he took me on a date and when I say a date, I'm talking like a very expensive date. I remember the bill was over $200. And granted, I didn't know, I'd never really been on dates before because I had...
Wait, this was back then?
Yeah.
I thought you meant recently. I'm like, dang, you put it all out. Okay.
No, this is the nice guy thing to do because that's what nice guys do. They spend all their money.
Hope you guys just heard that. Nice guys spending way too much money on a first date. Stop fucking doing that. Stop it. Stop it. That's pedestalizing. Stop it.
And
continue.
Yeah, but he did.
Over.
He spent over $200 on this date, and I don't want to give too many details because I don't want this person to know who it is. But he did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, and he went as far as to cook dinner for us, and I know the dinner that he cooked was also a high dollar menu item, or it was steaks, and it wasn't just any steak. It was
the dry
fine.
Age, all that
it was a fine steak.
So he's going above and
One
beyond.
that at 22 I did not appreciate. I was just I'll take that done.
So he's going above and beyond, right off the rip, above and beyond, before it's truly deserved, before you've had to earn it. Okay.
I didn't earn it. I did not deserve it. I didn't appreciate it. Even now, I didn't appreciate what kind of even steak that was.
Yeah.
Now today, I'm I'm just nobody talked to me for 10 seconds. I'm eating this bite.
Okay, so what has he changed? How is he no longer the nice? Oh my God,
he does so many things now, and okay, so time has obviously passed between them. Between that time, a good 10 years.
He's coming to his own.
He should by now. A few years, it's in the last 10 years of getting to know him, and I'll say, look, we'll give him 5 years, because 5 years from that point in time, he really came into his own, and this guy picked up everything. I mean, he dropped weight. He got into sporting, several different types of sports. He's
developed a competitive age.
He was traveling.
Nice.
He developed his attire taste. He just come into himself in such a way that was so attractive.
So he's a complete person now. He's not in the school of life, basically.
Yeah. Now I look at him and I'm like, this is the guy to be dating.
So he's in shape. He's competing in sports, so he has a competitive edge. Yeah. And guys, if you're physically capable and you're not in some type of adult sport league, I don't know what you're doing. You need to be hitting the gym. You need to be a sport league. You need to be doing something where you exercise the competitive nature that's inside you. You not doing that's such a disservice to men in time. Like, don't do that to yourself. Find something where you're able to compete all the time.
Yeah. I mean, he just like, I mean, I could talk the world about him at this point. Like, he really got his stuff together, and he like, I just felt like overall he found himself. And the other part, which I think a lot of men who are nice guys, they're not comfortable with being alone with themselves.
Yeah.
They have very needy, codependent personalities. They need you. They need to be around you. They need to be with you all the time. It's like, give me all your time. Give me all your attention. And that's why we get the ick.
It's draining.
It's draining. We're like, oh my God. Now not only do I have my life, but now I'm gonna
keep you entertained and fill your well of needy
I've got to
attention
pour myself
too.
into you, and I barely have enough to pour into me. It's like all that, and he didn't. He poured into himself, and he's comfortable with himself. He can be alone by himself. He can travel alone. Like, he can do all of these things, and it's like
being able to travel alone.
Huge.
That's huge. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
huge. And I'm not talking just like alone, like to freaking like
Nashville.
the bar to Nashville. I'm talking like out of the country alone, like trips all around the year. Like
even as a guy, like I think about that. Like I've never gone out of country, but to go somewhere far by yourself. That's attractive.
States.
That's very attractive. It's like, dang, so he can handle himself in this world by himself. In a place that's out of his comfort zone. That's an attractive trait.
You know why? Because that means I can be taken care of.
Yep.
That means in a situation, this guy's going to know what to do. Like, I don't know why that feels that way, but I just would trust that he could make me feel safe.
Which also goes to something I've said in the past podcast. We were talking about age gaps. Was I think that women shouldn't be dating guys if they're dating with intent to really settle down, to find somebody to be a life partner. No guy under 30. No guy under 30, I think, is even equipped mentally, life experience-wise, competence levels to be a good partner for a woman that wants to see the world, to experience stuff. She wants to feel safe. She wants to feel like she can go somewhere with you and you're going to be able to handle a situation. Like, that's a very attractive prospect. Yeah. So, yes. Okay. So, I got you. I got you. Wait, what?
So, I'm going to disagree with the age part. Like, I don't think you have to be, I don't think that necessarily
in general. It's a general.
Men, but general, sure.
Because most guys haven't developed.
30. I'll say closer to 30.
Yes.
I just feel like it takes men a lot longer to mature.
Well, guys have to develop a really strong network. They have to develop a little bit of a net worth. They need to develop the opportunity to experience the world and learn things. They need to develop their competence. If you're riding down the road and you get a flat and he doesn't know how to change it. And this is nothing against guys that don't know how to change it because...
Wow!
Whatever.
You know what? Because, I'm sorry, again, I have just been dating the plethora of people. And I have the stories out here. And I'm not kidding. This one guy I dated, let me fill y'all in. So, this one guy I dated, I would say he is a nice guy. He just is a jellyfish, like weak. Sorry, he's weak. No backbone.
Jellyfish.
No backbone.
Your comparison.
It's exactly how people think. They're like, how do you explain a nice guy? I'm like, it's a jellyfish. You're wiggly. You jelly. Yeah. You have no backbone. There's no structure there. And like a nice guy.
Damn. I'm sorry.
He's got structure. Like he's the shark. Like he's going places. Like. Jellyfish just floating along, taking what we get, whatever. And like, this guy, and like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, he could not change a $15 flap in the toilet from Ace Hardware in his toilet. And I got a leak. He paid like $400 something to some plumber to come fix it. Sorry, plumbers. Like, I know we out here. And like you got bigger fish to be frying. Like you got stuff to be unclogging. But like
guys, use YouTube to develop some of your skills.
I never
please.
So that was for me. That was like there's a lot of other things in this situation, but to me that was a huge red flag because I was like,
sure,
I'm a girl, and like not saying that women can't do stuff, but I'm like,
it's nice
if I could fix your toilet for you.
Oh, you fixed it?
Like. I didn't. He hired the plumber. He paid for a brand new toilet. I called him the idiot. That's what I did. That was because I was like, just wait for me. I'll come home.
Okay.
I was like, I'll come home and like, I'll fix it. Like, I'll go to Ace Hardware and buy the 50. I was like, it's probably a $15 part. It's a freaking leaky toilet.
That's not an attractive
it's like,
dynamic.
It was
that you
not
want,
attractive.
Okay.
And then we bought, like, and I don't even care. He should know who he is at this point. We bought, we were redecorating his house, and we bought new like lights, pendant lighting, and he's like, I'm gonna have to hire an electrician to come change pendant lighting. I was like, bro, go downstairs, flick the switch, it'll turn the power off.
Dang.
And then we'll change it. He was like, oh, and I was like, just go do it. I'll do it.
How old was this guy? I'm
changed
just curious.
him. 38. 38.
Okay.
He's
YouTube your
probably
shit.
in his 40s now.
YouTube your shit. Get
At
up
this
to date.
point.
God.
So this has been a few
I mean,
years.
some guys are going to be like that. They are.
I
They're
can't.
not going to be handy, but I mean, maybe he
can't
makes a
deal with
good
that.
living. I don't know. Maybe he's good there. Okay. Buy that.
I mean, it was decent, but like regardless, like men, I'm just saying, like, stop copying out to stuff like this. Like,
Yeah.
it takes 10.
You need to develop skills.
takes
You need to
10
be
minutes.
useful.
Yeah,
and,
life
and that's the
skills.
thing is like guys want to be useful. And if you're not finding ways of being useful, what are you doing?
Well, you know what you
Like
just
really,
did?
what are you doing?
When you become like that, or when you are like that, you put us savvy women, because that's what modern dating is today, is dating savvy women who have learned to pull up their bootstraps, because that's what we're expected to do, and get shit done and fix stuff, because that's what we're expected to do now, like to be just as competitive as men. So when you do that, and you can't fix a toilet, you can't turn on a light, you can't do these types of like
Sure.
minute things.
Even if
you can't research a video.
That's
for
what I was
10
gonna
minutes
say.
and figure
Even
it
if
out.
you can't, fucking figure it out. Say
You keep
I don't
me
know
in
how
my
to fix this, but I'm
masculine.
gonna YouTube it real quick and do it. Like at least have that drive
You keep
to
me-
find out how to do something. You need to be constantly making yourself useful.
useful, because like I said, you keep me in my masculine when I do that, and I will never step down into the feminine.
Yeah.
And these men want that too. Make yourself useful.
Make yourself
you
useful.
You want a woman to be a woman and to do these, be in her feminine, and to want you and to like see attraction in you.
Yep.
Like you have to do that. You have to create that sense of safety, and like knowing how to fix simple shit is doing
Competence.
that.
You have to do that.
It's like
you
it's just
have
like
to be
there's
competent.
a laundry list of things that these nice guys are doing, and it's like, will you ever learn? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I hope you
and
do.
the sad thing is, like, for the nice guy, it's mostly about personal adoration. Like they're just trying to get approval from you. And again, that's not an attractive trait. That's not something that women actually want. They want your attention to be hard to obtain. They want to know that you're on your purpose, that you're constantly
Yeah.
bettering yourself, that you're chasing excellence in everything that you're doing. Like
Yeah.
that's truly the difference. So guys, if you're sliding into DMs and you're talking away, one-sided, hey beautiful, all this type of stuff, stop doing that. Good guys don't do that. They do not do that. They
No,
do
they
not do
don't.
that. They do not do that. They
You
don't.
can.
But real quick, we had what I want to do now, since we've been talking about good guys versus nice guys. I think we've covered this topic. We have 2 questions that were submitted that I think we're going to answer to everybody that's listening right now. The first question that we had was, and this is even when I asked the people here before we got on live, they're like, whoa. The question is marriage relevant today? So I have my opinion, but I have these guests, these lovely guests. I'm actually going to let them answer. I'm going to let Megan
I want to hear Megan
actually answer this. Megan, is marriage relevant today? Traditional marriage, where you do the wedding, and then you're there, you sign the contract, government's involved, all that, the stuff. Is it relevant
involved.
today?
I think for a few people, yeah, I think it is relevant today, but
Do you want marriage?
I mean,
You're a little outside the box thinker, so I don't know.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have the you know, big wedding. I think every woman wants to be pampered and have a day special to herself with your husband. And I think that it's the fairy tale, you know, hopeless romantics always look for.
Sure.
I would like to get married, but I don't necessarily feel like modern day now, people just kind of, I don't even want to say they just live together, but they're okay with just having that kind of relationship.
That coexistence.
And not having the government involved in all of their business.
Sure.
So that's kind of my take on it.
So, and I know this is very hypothetical and probably a little unfair. If Nathan never proposed, you guys were together for 12 years, would you be like a little irked?
Probably.
Yeah?
Maybe.
For sure.
Well,
Because you want the day, or you want the wedding, or you want the marriage? Because those are two completely different things. They really, really are. So which one is it that is the most attractive? The actual marriage or the wedding?
Like on paper, marriage, or he gives you the day and you guys get married, but you never go to the courthouse and sign papers.
Yeah.
So it's not ever legal.
Yep.
But you got your day.
yeah, I would say the day, you know, a celebration for us celebrating the rest of our lives. Like,
Sure.
Of course, it's a mutual decision. Like, do you want to spend the rest of your life with me?
Legally tied.
You know, yeah, like I think that's a conversation before, you know, you just randomly propose.
Like last names being exchanged and stuff, all like you think
sure.
these are still extremely relevant? You think it's relevant today?
I don't know. I kind of enjoy my initials, you know, MLK. So
I love it.
I like it.
But yeah, I think some people still feel like the traditional, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I go either way, honestly.
Okay. So you think it's pretty relevant, the actual marriage, not just weddings. Of course, weddings are relevant. Like you said, women want that special day. But the next day, when the wedding is done and you're married till what, you know, you guys call it quits, life makes you call it quits, whatever happens, like, you think that's still relevant today?
I'm sorry. I think I don't understand.
Like you think, so your opinion is, yes, marriage today is still extremely relevant. The exchanging of the last names, that whole dynamic, you know, having kids and they have his last name, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people think they like the traditional take. Maybe not exactly those things, but
Sure. Because when I got married, we didn't have ours was not religious. I'm not religious, but we had someone who did, like, we did our vows and all that type of stuff. But there was definitely no religious aspect to it. I think that marriage is extremely relevant today. Now, what I do love is we take a lot of the traditional aspects and we might spin them to each person's personal dynamic.
Yeah.
It might mean something a little bit different, but at the core, we all have a fairly good understanding of the importance of that promise. So for that reason, and making that promise in front of people is super, super beautiful. I and you were both at my wedding.
Yeah,
it was
great.
Thank you. I thought that was a very important day. I thought that yes, it was kind of a day for Diana. It really was.
It was a wonderful day. Sorry, I think about it and I'm like, it was just so pretty. Like, I just want to say it was so cute for the ones who were not there, because I also helped do some planning on the background, some BTS.
Yes,
and
big time.
My favorite part about that day, which no one else got to see, I don't think, but me, was Diana's nervousness at the right before she went down the aisle. Her nervousness for that moment. And I had her veil and I was fluffing everything for her and when I tell you I went to and she ran down the aisle. She took off. And I was like, girl! I was like, slow down, wait a minute! But she did. She hauled off and she was so ready. Her nerves just it evaded her in that moment, and she was so ready, and she just ran off, and it was so cute.
She was so nervous. Her hands were shaking up there. I was like,
it was so cute. I think about that moment. I was like, I told her after, I was like, you ran. She was like, did I? And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, you ran to you. She couldn't wait for that moment. And I think again, that's the importance of, or the relevancy of wedding, is that, you are bringing two people together, and whether that be in a legal sense, so on paper, going to the courthouse, because you guys were, you know, married, I think, like before that.
Legally,
to everything done. And like my
so we were
friends,
technically just governmentally, is that a word? Government?
Yeah.
We were acknowledged by the government. We were married. She had my last name.
Yeah.
And we were like that for almost 2 years because
And no one knew.
because of COVID. Like it extended us an extra year, but we got a jump start on it by a year.
Yeah. And no one knew.
Nobody knew, but also our living dynamic never changed.
Yeah.
It didn't, but we knew it. And the way that we looked at each other, knowing that we were married, I know that it was different.
I love that though, but I
Yes.
love that we didn't know, because that's like an element of mystery that only you guys had between the two of you. It was like no one knew that until later on when you guys made the decision to say, yeah, we got married. You know, before this it was already done, as if you were like, yeah, people do it all the time.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
I'm like, well, you did? You know, it's like one of those things, and
And that's one of the reasons I think that marriage is still extremely relevant, is that even without other people knowing, it was still
it was your piece.
yes, it was an actual physical contract, but it was also just a silent contract between she and I about the commitment to one another.
Yeah.
And that's what marriage is. Because if you, yes, I get it. Technically, you can just divorce and be gone, gone, be done. You can't. Obviously, it's a little more technical than that, but you can. Like, no one's gonna, you know, kill you for getting divorced. This isn't the olden days when that stuff actually used to happen. But
people might
stoned to death.
if you're still in the
but,
church.
But that, I think, is extremely relevant because you have that acknowledged agreement with each other. It's like, we're going to, no matter how bad an argument might be, unless there's a line that's crossed that you both agree upon where the lines are, unless somebody crosses those lines, while you're inside that, this is the commitment to one another.
Yeah.
And that's what marriage is the commitment. It's not about the wedding. The wedding's beautiful, don't get me wrong. My wedding was beautiful. I've been to beautiful weddings, and I really love that women have that day to truly look forward to. Megan's looking forward to it, Mara's looking forward to it.
I'm just going to say, in my wedding, I'm not having a wedding. So no one's invited. Love you.
We're going to
We'll
throw
have a
something for you.
reception,
We're going to throw something for
We
you.
may do a reception.
Don't
I'm
you
eloping,
worry.
So
I think,
I'll just tell that
I
to my
think
future husband out there.
the wedding is beautiful, but the marriage, I think it's even more
It's
beautiful.
about the marriage to me. It's not about, you said it was more about the day for you, because you wanted a day where it was like about you and about the day and about the involvement of you two coming together. And that's what fulfilled you the most, not that it's on paper or anything like that. Whether it did or whether it ever went to on paper, you're like, that doesn't bother me.
And sharing it with
Yeah.
family and friends.
Exactly.
It's sharing and acknowledging, getting the acknowledgement from everybody else as well. Like, this is a promise and a contract that we're making with each other.
And for me, I would say it's a slight bit of both, more so that, like, I do on paper want to be married. Like, that's, like, at the end of the day, like, that's where I want to be in life. But I don't want the day with other people, because I want it to be so involved with just me and my person, me and my partner.
But that's what the honeymoon's supposed to be
And
for.
well, I get it. I want to.
We're going to work on her.
Yeah,
No.
I know. We're not working on me. She's
right.
worked.
So there's one more question, because we could go on about the marriage, obviously. Another question is just for you two. It's not for me to answer. When you've gone on a date with a guy, maybe 2 dates, whatever, and you're just not feeling the spark, chemistry's not really there, he's a nice guy, just not the one for you, how are you letting him down in a nice way?
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't even say in a nice way. How are you letting him down? How are you doing it? How should you do it?
I'll go first. On
Go
this
ahead,
Because
go ahead.
I'm dating people actively, and you will have your chance. Well, 1 minute. Ghosting is always an option. I'm just kidding.
Oh my
It is an
God.
option. But I think, like, it would have to be like a super atrocious date. Like, it would have to be just one of those, like, this dude showed up in flip-flops and, you know, I'm just kidding. No.
Oh my gosh, the tacos.
But he would just have to be, like, you know, coming out like with,
for whatever
like,
reason.
profanity.
How you letting him
just,
down?
Like, just a really rude person. So in that case, ghosting's always fine to me.
Sure.
But in any case, like, if I went on a date with someone, first or second date, and you know, at the end of the time, I didn't feel the spark or connection. I always feel like it's important to just tell them that. And I just say, you know, I send them a text after the date's over.
So it is a text. You don't do it in person.
I don't do it in
Sure,
person.
that's
There's
fine.
no reason, because here's the thing. Here's what happens.
That's hella awkward. There's no point
It
in
is
doing all
awkward,
that.
and people always feel like they're owed an answer. Why? What is it about me?
What could I have done better?
What exactly? And the thing is, they'll do that in text too, but you don't have to respond
Sure.
at that point. You can block, you can walk
Yeah.
away.
So what are you saying?
So I usually text them after the date and I say, hey, you know, tonight was super fun. I had a good time. But for whatever reason, I'm not really feeling a spark. I feel kind of more of like a friend's vibe. I'm getting more of a friend's vibe from you. So, you know, but I do wish you the best, you know, on your dating journey. And, you know, that's kind of where I leave it.
Perfect.
Whatever. I just kind of like let it go.
Nice. That's exactly what I actually thought was that message.
Yeah.
What about you, Megan? I like you like my brother. Deuces. Like, are you like that's it? What do you do? What do you say?
So it just depends, you know. I think that I think an answer, you're not owed an answer.
Yeah.
But I think it is respectful not to waste someone's time. Hey, I don't think I wouldn't say I'm not into you, but I would just be like,
Are you sending a text? Or are you saying this in person?
Probably. I wouldn't just be like, oh, well, yeah, I forgot to go vacuum my room and then
Right.
just leave.
Right. But it's definitely a text. It's not a phone call. It's definitely not a video call.
For sure, a text. Like, I think it's best if we just stay friends, or if you were friends before, or just, I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
Okay.
Or maybe I've changed my mind with dating in general.
I got you.
I'll read a text if you don't mind.
Go for it. This is
like
it.
This is from May of this year.
Okay.
So
this is the decision.
This
you
is the
didn't
decision.
want to. Okay.
I didn't. And this is what I said. I think it's safe to say that while I find you physically attractive, I don't think that we would be a good match. Our views, I feel that our views are opposite, and that we wouldn't have a good time together moving forward. I really do wish you the best, and I hope that you find the perfect person you're after.
Okay.
So
it's short and sweet.
I put like a little heart at the end. I was just like, you know,
nice.
like letting you know, like I'm trying to let you down nicely.
And then you block the number. No.
And
don't even let them reply. They got the message. Make sure it says sent.
I was like delivered.
So it's short, sweet. You don't have to go into a bunch of reasons why it's not working out. You just simply say you're not feeling it. There's not a connection, no spark, whatever.
Yeah.
Just something very, very, very
I gave
quick.
him what he needed to know.
That's it. I mean, and you don't owe them massive explanations.
I don't.
This is a decision that you're making. And it's done. Like,
and wish him the best.
There's no moment to negotiate this or anything like that.
It's not a negotiation.
Which to tie this in real quick, that's something a nice guy would do. He would try to enter negotiations. Well, maybe if you give me one more chance. Yeah, Karen, look at that. Look at that.
I'm such a good guy.
Look at that.
Look at all these things I can do.
Well, you don't know what you're missing out on.
And it's like, well, if that's the case, then 22-year-old me, who didn't know what she was missing out on, he didn't say that to me, but if that's the case, 10 years later, I hope I figured that out, and I did, and I missed out, and you know,
and it happens.
Like
you're not gonna find every single person at the exact same time, but
the window of time. We've always said timing is everything. And
it's everything.
If your
so he was 10 years too early. That is such a great example of timing being absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
10 years. Now, ready. 10 years ago, not.
10
years later,
perfect. He's aged like a fine whiskey.
Yep. So the takeaway is, nice guys, stop giving away your attention early. Stop pedestalizing ladies. Make sure that you're increasing your utility to yourself, to society. Make sure you have a good, healthy social group, and make sure that you have the ability to walk away from a situation that's not healthy or feeding you, or if you're not wanted, you just move on to the next opportunity. But to try and stay and dwell and convince people to like you, it's the ick. That's not what we want.
If you ever are convincing someone, if you ever find yourself trying to negotiate, you're negotiating with the only person you're negotiating with is with yourself.
Yep.
And your pride.
You should
and your
not have to
dignity.
negotiate your value to other people.
They should
That's
see
how you
that.
know.
They
That's
should
how
see
you know.
that. They should feel it. They should see it. So yeah, if you're negotiating, it's with yourself.
Yep, for sure. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up today's episode. Thanking everybody real quick for jumping on live. We appreciate you guys jumping on and following. This, again, is the 1 year anniversary, so thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate that. Make sure you are subscribing to Brock Olson, the dating expert, on YouTube to catch all these episodes when they air, because we don't usually do these live like this, but we just wanted to bring you on this fun little trip that we had today. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So guys, thank you so much for coming on, Megan. This was so nice to have you on the episode. I know that we had talked about having you come on a couple months ago or so, but this was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, all right, guys. Thanks. See you later.
Add it up.